My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends, just trying to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain you, but to educate and teach you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. What happens if we're forced to reopen without fiscal or viral protection? Oh, that's what this market was pondering on a day where the Dow gained 185 points, even though it looked bad at the opening. The S&P advanced 0.64%, and the Nasdaq jumped 1%. A world where the Democrats and Republicans can't make a deal on the next round of stimulus, so states have no choice but to open up everything using masks and social distancing as our only backstops, because otherwise everyone goes broke. You can't just stay shut down without the federal lifeline. Come on, right? The states don't have the money for it. But the logjam in Washington, it's starting to get very personal. You could see that when I interviewed House Speaker Nancy Pelosi this morning. I maybe naively asked if we could at least get a deal with the GOP to help out minority-owned businesses in honor of the late, great John Lewis. Here's what Speaker Pelosi shot back. Can we give a huge chunk of money to the people who are disenfranchised, to minorities who want so badly to stay in business and can't, and to people who are trying to go to college or have student loans who are minorities, who are the most affected because they had the least chance in our country? That's got to be something both sides can agree to.
Perhaps you mistook them for somebody who gives a damn.
Well, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing you say if the negotiations are making great progress. In theory, this deal should be a no-brainer for both sides. It seems insane for Republicans in Congress to vote against a deal 3 months before an election out of some newfound concern for the budget deficit. There's an election in 3 months, for heaven's sake. Senator Mitch McConnell's majority could be in jeopardy. This should be an easy call for them. On the Democratic side, if they block a deal under the principle of go big or go home, we know the president has said he'll issue an executive order to keep paying unemployment benefits. That's clearly unconstitutional, but politically it puts the Democrats in a real bind. What are they going to do? Those unemployment checks are a Democratic priority. You can't come out against them 3 months before an election because of something intangible like a separation of powers or checks, balances, this stuff from fifth grade. So I think both sides end up with a compromise, but maybe I'm not being cynical enough. At the end of the day, I'm a stock guy, though, not a politics guy. However, we need to talk about this political stuff now and then because yesterday we had a powerful rally based on hope for a vaccine and the possibility of a deal in Congress. Today, we had no vaccine news, no testing news, no nothing, and the negotiations in Washington seem to be going in the wrong direction. Yet we still rallied. Got to ponder this. It was just a different group that led us higher. Think of this market as a vicious rodeo where each day you have to switch bulls. Notice this is not a bull fight, something I deplore, because the bull did nothing to deserve that torture. Trust me. No, it's more like the world's most frenetic rodeo, and you need to figure it out if you want to understand the day's winners and losers. Why did Teladoc plummet yesterday and then bounce back today? Why did Etsy get hammered today while Facebook and Apple exploded higher? So you know what we got to do? We got to talk about these bulls and what happens when they burst out of the pen with you on top of them. Bull number one sees a vaccine right around the corner and more help from the government on the way. This nirvana for the market, right? And everything moves up, aside from the COVID stocks. Bull number two has vaccine in its sights, but no stimulus package. That produces strength in the growth stocks, but not much more. Bull number three, no vaccine news, but we get meaningful stimulus bill. That allows small businesses to survive without doing much to help traditional growth stocks. Finally, bull number four, no vaccine news whatsoever and no federal assistance whatsoever. You might think that sounds like a bear. But as we saw today, the Cramer Covid-19 stocks can still lead us higher, all by about $15 trillion worth. Of course, there's always a twist. Today, the State Department, in its infinite wisdom, lifted all travel bans, which is kind of funny when you remember that most countries now have travel bans on us. I have a business in Italy, and they won't let me go see it because America is one of the worst outbreaks in the world. Wasn't Italy the worst at one time? We make olive oil. I call it Jim's None Better, but only on this show because my wife doesn't watch. Today, we had the fourth kind of bull market. So what happened? First, the big cap growth stocks, they just went crazy. I mean, it was amazing. Facebook's become a lifeline for small businesses trying to transcend their brick and mortar prisons. When your cities locked down or you have vigorously enforced social distancing with those things, it's like you can stand here and then like here and then like here. You ever see that? You look down. All I do is look down. I went out in the store. These retailers have to find another way to apply their wares. Facebook makes that happen, which is why I think it surged 6% today. Insta shops, fabulissimo. Why not Etsy? Well, you could argue because no stimulus means people won't have enough money to buy stuff on their platform. Honestly, I think Etsy got slammed because it ran up way too much. We're going to find out later. Salesforce word, of course, it's the king of the cloud. It makes large enterprise more efficient, especially when it comes to landing and retaining new clients. Their customers don't need a bailout. They'll be fine. Buy the stock. How about Apple? Now, I've been pushing this stock for years. How many times have I said, own it, don't trade it? Now Apple's finally getting the valuation it deserves because Wall Street starting to realize that the stock's going up based on the lifetime value of its incredibly loyal customers, like a consumer packaged goods play. For years, I've said this stock should have a much higher price-to-earnings multiple, more like that, say, Procter & Gamble. That's a classic razor blade business. Well, yeah, it's because they own Gillette, which is what Apple's become. No wonder the stock keeps surging. It's a wholesale re-rating, as they say on Wall Street. Microsoft rallied too. It's another COVID winner that also might be able to buy TikTok. That's at least the American business for a song, thanks to the U.S. government. I hear the president wants the government to get a cut. That may sound completely ridiculous to you, but honestly, companies that get sweetheart deals from their Uncle Sam really should kick back something to the Treasury. Otherwise, Microsoft's getting a huge handout for free. The president's right. What about Disney? You'd think this would be a vaccine play? We've learned that Disney's a growth stock with a fabulous streaming business and a huge balance sheet that will allow them to wait out the pandemic. They're making a mint from Disney Plus, while the parks, the movie business, and ESPN can all afford to wait until next year for a vaccine. Now, sometimes you get these weird variations, like I mentioned earlier. The airline stocks rallied today because the State Department lifted its international travel ban. A comical move, given that your American passport isn't worth the paper it's laminated on right now. It's possible the airlines could get some aid from the government, but the rally was all about traveling to places you can't go. If you want to own an airline, I always say buy Southwest, but the best performer is going to be American because it has a ton of international routes and because the Robinhood traders adore it. The hotels with overseas properties soared too. Don't overthink it. Go to buy Marriott. That's what you always do. Lifting our travel ban, though, means next to nothing. Oh, yeah, the casinos, it's Wynn and LVS. Even a couple of the cruise lines rallied, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, despite the fact that most cruises are canceled until November at the earliest. The travel ban was not the problem. Doesn't matter. The bottom line. Now you know the rodeo. When you see the bull burst out, remember, you're the rider. As long as you know which bull you're riding, you know which stocks will rally on any given day. Of course, you can always sit on the sidelines in cash, as so many brilliant hedge fund managers, or at least they play them on TV, say to do so. But so far, bull riding, it pays a lot better.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.